That's how they work together and achieve the objective. The next event is the grandkids. Are you ready for your the grandkids scene together? You remember what that is? I only told you 150 times.
I never got a call ever.
Come on up. Was it the stage thing or what? Either one.
We're missing one.
Yeah, we're missing one. Zara's here in our house.
Oh yeah, explain that.
My older sister Zara is right now at college. She wishes she could be here. And I know, she's wishing you a happy birthday with all the love in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. You remember your stick?
Okay, you're first.
Speak loud.
These are things that we love about Bubby. Bubby's the best, and I'm not saying that because I'm clearly the favorite grandchild. She takes us to New York for Broadway shows because she knows we're extremely dramatic. She's the only member of the family that's willing to wait hours for me while we shop in TJ Maxx and then buy the clothes even though she thinks they're way too inappropriate. She has unlimited patience, if that wasn't obvious enough, by her marriage to Toots.
She puts up with this.
She takes us on cruises, and we get a balcony and a butler, and none of our parents even get invited. She's 100% deaf, but can somehow still hear Toots snoring and opening a bag of chips.
She laughs at all of our jokes even when she doesn't actually hear them.
She takes us on cruise ships, even though I get seasick half the time and don't mention it because I'm too afraid to tell her that I'm going to barf.
And she puts up with this.
She realized we were all geniuses when we learned how to blink eyes. I love Bubby because she always makes me her famous cheesy broccoli.
She's driven me to countless days of school, dance practices, to home, to her house and back. And she always makes me feel so special in the car. And now she stops at Starbucks without me even having to ask.
She's always willing to make new friends and meet new people, even when I'm like, Bubs, can we go home? We're at the mall.
And she puts up with this.
All right.
Thank you.
We love you.
Oh, you guys.
$25 in rehearsal for that. All right, now let's. There's another daughter, Sharon. That's right. Sharon, you here?
Yeah.
Favorite.
A favorite.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what she says.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I just want to take a moment to recognize the incredible, the legendary, the most badass Bubby and matriarch of the Schneiderman clan, Lenore. For all my life, she has been my safe place and my North Star. To say we have a close relationship would be the understatement of a lifetime. We can share our thoughts over a single glance, and I know exactly what she's thinking. And it's usually a complaint about Toots. Because of her, I'm a lawyer, I'm a wife, I'm a mother. I try to emulate the way she has lived her life, with grace, with laughter, with the patience of a saint. I count myself lucky to have gotten any of her characteristics, although unfortunately for me, I came out an exact carbon copy of my dad. Small boobs and the ability to annoy every single person in the room. She puts up with our shenanigans. She has a keen sense of direction. She taught me there's almost nothing better than to curl up with a good book and a hot cup of tea. She toots her own horn because no one else will. She makes a house a home. She shows up. She leans in. She's generous with not only her money, but with her time and her love. She celebrates the big and little milestones. My success is her success, and I see parts of her in my own daughters, and that fills me with a sense of unadulterated pride. She taught me strength, not by telling me to be strong, but by showing me what strength looks like. I mean, come on, she's endured being married to Toots for 58 years. She loves unconditionally and consistently, and I'm forever grateful to be the favorite child. She's my best friend and the center of our universe. Mom, today, don't count the candles, just enjoy the glow. We are the lucky ones to bask in your warmth. All I can say is, oh my God, I'm turning into my mom!
To clarify any ambiguity, I'm the one they refer to as Toots. Now, we're going to get ready for the play, but right before the play, I'm going to ask Jane Lang, an old friend. She's the founder of Atlas Theater Productions that changed the section of DC. One of the most prominent civil rights lawyers in the area, in fact in the country. But more importantly, we shared Seder after Seder together. It took her 20 years to figure out that when I'm saying Hebrew, it's really fake Hebrew. But she finally found out. Here she is, Jane Lang.
In 1970, when I started as an associate at Steptoe & Johnson, all of my colleagues were men, as in law school. I was utterly bereft of girlfriends in Washington. That is, until I met Lenore. In the spring of 1971, our friendship was sealed at the first of 50 Seders we've celebrated together. She made chicken Kiev, that old Jewish maid. I was impressed that she was unafraid to start traditions of her own. The meal included, of course, Lenore's signature matzo ball soup. And every year since, we've debated whether this year's matzo balls are in fact the best of all years. Our two oldest children, Danny and Shelley, and my Jessica and Ben, attended the same preschool with Siri, not the Siri of the 21st century, but a real live woman. And we shared outings to the zoo and the Lafayette School Festival. And this is important, we knew each other's mothers and siblings. And I confess we shared gossip about certain Steptoe partners and their spouses. In later years and across the decades, we celebrated weddings and bar and bat mitzvahs of children and grandchildren from Mississippi to Boston. We co-founded the Margarita Society with Myra and Jerry Barron, although the origins of that elite organization escaped me at the moment. And along with my mother, Lenore and Marty even attended at least 2 of my amateur cabaret performances. Now, that's friendship. And in fact, Lenore gifted me my performance outfit, a long black dress and a merry widow. Lenore,
Which I couldn't fit in.
We've shared a lot of laughs and occasional tears. You've always been there for me when I needed you, including a day back in the 1970s when I burst into tears as you opened the door to me on Northampton Street. I won't ever forget that. I'm profoundly grateful for the good fortune that brought Marty to Steptoe, and thus you, into my life. May we look forward to more laughter and matzo ball soup. And I'd like to order up some of your chocolate dip macaroons for Passover for every year for the rest of my life. I really love them, and you too.
Frankly, I'm not a big fan of those macaroons. Now we're going to get ready to do the show. I don't know if Ken Ludwig is on, but let me tell you.
Yes, he is.
He's on.
Okay. What happened is, you might not know of Ken Ludwig. He's a very famous playwright. He is now the most published and produced playwright, living American playwright in the country. And that's since Neil Simon passed away, which is bad news for him, but good news for Ken Ludwig. And he's been, again, he's an amazing playwright. And one thing he did is he wrote a play that included a Martin Schneiderman in the play. It's clearly his best play. And he's had much success with it. So Lenore felt, and we all felt, it's appropriate that he do so with Lenore. And he said, if you give me that blueberry cake that I like, I'll do it. And there's been 38 blueberry cakes, and he just keeps putting it off till he gets a blueberry cake. So I'm going to get revenge. So I wrote a play with insignificant editing from Ken Ludwig. So if you like it, it's mine. If you don't like it, it's his editing that screwed it up. And we had trouble finding the appropriate actors here. First of all, to play Marty, that's a real effort. But Paul Androsik, an old friend and partner of mine from Steptoes, grandson, is a terrific guy, terrific actor. We've gone to see him at least 6 or 7 times in Reston. And then we tried to find someone for Lenore. We did a countrywide search to come up with Lenore. We couldn't come up with anyone for a long time. It was a problem. And finally, Josh's mother said she would do it, and with short notice. It's amazing what they've done. So with that, I'm going to present Lenore and Lenore. But before that, we have an announcement. Paige, you have the announcement before we have the show, please.
A couple of announcements before the play. First, we ask you to silence your cell phones. Since many of you are friends with Bubby and Toots and close to 80 years old, I'll assume you don't know how to silence your phones. We have plenty of teenagers here for tech support. If you need help, raise your hand. Also, this exit is supposed to be used for emergencies. Please note, even if this play is horrible, that's not an emergency.
Our actors ready?
They're ready.
Here they come.
The mustache is back in season.
Is Lenore home?
Hi, Mary Lou. She's out doing some favors for someone. You look different today, much shorter. How come?
I don't know for sure, but you do know I love to bake. Well, I was baking bread and you used too much shortening, so maybe.
Getting shorter from shortening bread? That's just crazy. You know, good thing your husband's a shrink, but I suppose a shrink's not what you need for your problem. What's up?
We have a problem. An emotional support animal dog is having a number of diarrhea accidents in the lobby.
Oh. Look, we'll tell him to take the kaopectate and call Lenore in the morning. What do you want her, on the cleanup committee?
No, the president of the board wants her to have a heart-to-heart talk and fix the problem.
Well, who's the owner?
He wants her to talk to the dog, not the owner. One-on-one. She has a way of finding the problem and fixing it.
Well, she is good at talking through problems, but I've never seen her talk people or dogs out of diarrhea. You know, come to think of it, she's fixed some people with talking diarrhea.
Enough of that. Have her call. I could also use help on the legal issues.
Oh, legal problems? Heck, I can help with the legal stuff. Tell me about it.
Nice talking to ya. Have to run. Have Lenore call as soon as she returns.
Who's there?
It's just me, Mary Lee.
You look so different.
Well, I had my nails done.
So you want that legal help?
No, I need to ask Lenore whether she could feed Mr. Whiskers the cat this weekend for the Zuckerbergs. I can't do it, and you know how much he loves dogs and cats. I'm busy doing vaccinations.
Didn't you just finish days of vaccinations here?
Yeah, that was for people. This is vaccinations for dogs and cats. There's lots of neurovirus and pet diarrhea going around.
I understand the problem. You're busy, okay, but isn't there a Mrs. Whiskers to take care of him?
Mrs. Whiskers died months ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't even know Mrs. Whiskers was ill. I didn't know there was a Mrs. Whiskers. Thoughts and prayers for the entire Whiskers family. But this weekend there's all-day college games on, and Saturday there's the NFL.
We know you don't really care about the Whiskers family, and Lenore doesn't really care about football.
Yes, I prefer she keeps me company and keeps me well-nourished.
You may have problems, but nourishment is not one of them.
What are my problems?
Nice talking to you. I have to run. Tell Lenore to call me when she gets back.
Oh my gosh, I'm so busy, and now all the grandkids need to do more shopping for school.
Oh, hey, Toots, you look amazing today. New hairdo. I just can't believe you're now 80 years old. You look so young.
No, I'm just acting young. Hey, look at yourself. You are looking younger and thinner. In fact, what happened to your multiple chinny chin chins?
Oh, yes, they used to say I need to find my chin with a bookmark. But today, no multiple chins. It's amazing. Let's just call it deception at a reception.
You can say that again.
Deception at a reception.
When I say you can say that again, I do not literally mean that you should say it again. It's only a saying that I agree with you.
Okay, then why not simply say, I agree with you?
That would be better. I agree with you.
You can say that again.
Stop it now. Hey, did anyone call or come by?
Not a soul. No calls, absolutely quiet. Oh, well, earlier Ken Ludwig called.
Well, tell me about it. What did he want now?
I can't tell you, but remember he promised to feature the Lenore name in a play? Well, finally he's doing it, but I can't tell you the name now.
Why not?
He said to keep it for a high point in the play in the next scene. I don't think there is a high point. Also, I actually don't like the names or even the ideas of the show with his name. Mr. Ludwig, you out there? Can I vary from the script and say the lines now I'm going to say later?
No, stick to the script. Although, as most of you know, I didn't write the script. Marty wrote it. If I wrote the script like a script like this, I'd be in the poorhouse. Well, I am in the poorhouse, and it's all thanks to Marty. I don't work anymore thanks to Marty. I don't have the time. He forces me to watch him count the hotel and airline points he gets on his credit cards, which takes him about 8 hours a day. Sliced salmon at Wagshall's, he'd make more money than he does counting hotel points. But you know what happens to actors who vary from the script?
No.
Well, no one knows because it doesn't happen. If people know that my words are not to be trifled with, capital punishment is still legal in the state.
Okay, Marty, did you eat the sandwich I left you?
Where did you leave it?
In the refrigerator.
You usually put the sandwich on the TV tray.
Yes, but that's when I'm home, I do that.
Well, that's my point right there. Now, you see, if you were home rather than cavorting around helping friends and family, the sandwich, the refrigerator, the TV tray, and me would be having a joyful time together.
Let me ask you a very simple question. Is it too much to ask that you get your fat ass off the couch and place the already made sandwich on the table?
That is most definitely not a simple question. First, it includes a false assumption of a fat ass, which I certainly do not possess. Second, it assumes that I have been told about a sandwich in the fridge, which I was not. And third, your question does not describe the content of the sandwich, which surely is needed to make the decision whether it is worth moving my modest ass from the couch and away from the TV. Now, if you, for example, made an anchovies and cottage cheese sandwich on Wonder White bread...
Stop already! Well, I'm not going to spend any time arguing with this silly point.
Hold on. Everybody knows that we never argue. Now, a discussion, yes, but never an argument.
Yes, this is an argument.
No, it's not.
Let's agree. We will call it a discussion-ment.
Okay, so you have time to do all sorts of favors and errands for family and friends, but you don't have time to spare the time for a discussion-ment with me, your husband of 57 years?
Let me understand what you're saying. I spent 57 years with you as your wife, and you're complaining about insufficient time together? Perhaps you forgot that before retirement, you spent almost all your time on step-toe things.
Well, that's not entirely true. There was also basketball 3 to 4 times a week.
Well, while you were doing your things, I carried and cared for our 3 wonderful children.
Wonderful children, yes. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Discuss among yourselves.
While you were helping to fend large companies, I was doing my thing, helping family, friends, pets, and community. There is a great, great joy in giving. Being a giver is actually more satisfying than just being a taker.
Well, you are happiest when you're giving, and for 57 years, I'm taking just to make you happy. By this time, you're so happy you're whistling Dixie out of your...
Stop it! Granddaughters are here!
Okay, well, while you were giving to the community by being elected to the board, I was just bored. Guess I'm better at the taking thing than the giving thing.
Well, we need to figure out how to get you out of this funk.
Heavy stuff, huh? You see the drama that needs resolution? First, what is the new Ludwig play that gives Lenore the prominence she deserves? Second, will Lenore figure out a way to make Marty happy at the promenade without rendering the show an R rating? To be resolved after the shortest intermission in Broadway history, taking only 10 seconds. Mill about.
You mentioned that Ludwig called about the new play. It's about time.
Yes, long ago, Ken promised that he would write a play using you in a prominent role.
Yes, he promised it many times. I'm excited about that. He is a brilliant, brilliant writer.
Yes, that's what it says on his website in big, bold letters. Also, we cannot trifle with the script.
Well, did he tell you about the show?
Yes, he's working on 2 projects. First, a takeoff on Aristophanes' Lysistrata. In the original, the ladies withheld sex to stop the wars. In the Ludwig update, Lenore Strata, the ladies of the coupe band together, depriving the men of their weekend sports TV by withholding food. The ladies shop for nothing, and they cook for nothing.
Great idea for a play, even better idea for an actual play.
Hey, whoa, don't get any ideas, all right? It's a real bad idea. Some could get hurt. We have friends with diabetes, and withholding food could become ugly.
True, some may have to suffer, but the cause is worthy.
Yeah, and the other project is Romeo and Lenore. In this play, Lenore, a beautiful 80-year-old widow, yeah, you already can tell I have some problems with the premise. Her 98-year-old mother objects, so Romeo sneaks poison into the wine bottle. Unfortunately, the bottle is used for the Passover Seder, and they all die after singing Dayanu. Yes, a tragic ending, but lots of good mother-in-law jokes along the way.
Sounds fantastic, but look at the time. I need to head out and go shopping with each of our grandchildren.
You need to take each of the grandchildren shopping one-on-one with you? You realize how much shopping that is?
Of course I know. 6 grandchildren who need to be dressed each for 4 of the seasons. That is 6 times 4 is... well, it's a big number.
You do realize that these grandchildren have parents.
Of course I know that. I need to take them shopping too. That's 6 more wonderful days of shopping.
Oh, did you meet with the dog to resolve his diarrhea problem?
Yes, the dog is a Polish Rottweiler. His name, Paul O. He was just expressing his need of companionship, so I fixed him up with Mr. Whiskers, and they are great friends. And Mary Lee is going to vaccinate them next week. Now I have time to go shopping.
Speaking of shopping, I have a question about a bill from a place called Lululemon. Did you buy a car at Lululemon?
They don't sell cars at Lululemon.
The size of this bill here suggests the car was purchased there. What do they sell at Lululemon?
They sell athleisure clothes, yoga outfits, clothes for meditation.
They should meditate and have a spiritual awakening on how stupid they are spending all that money to dress up for meeting with their inner selves.
Actually, you should thank Lululemon. On the same day I was there, I found something I think will solve your retirement blues. I'm confident this will change your entire outlook. In this package is something called a pickleball set.
Yes, I've seen the promenade kids, you know, the 70-year-olds out there.
Yes, and in this game, you'll learn to be a giver, the serve, and then the taker, return. And you will find a host of new friends, or at least one or two, if you keep your trash talk to a minimum. Your outlook on life will change. You will learn to cook, well, maybe not that, but you will too find great satisfaction by serving pickleballs to your friends and family and community. You will not be a slave to the sports TV over the weekend.
Ah, thanks, Toots. You are so right. And when I say right, I mean you are so right for me. I am indeed the luckiest man in the world. Now shush, I have to watch the Celtics game.
Who has to follow that? Wow.
Marty, you okay? Help?
Check
Oh
support.
yeah, now to the top position for that, I gotta call my son Daniel. Danny, come on up here, huh? Follow that. My son gave me 5 pages to read why he's the greatest son, so I told him, no, I'm not gonna do that. But there he is.
Wait a while. I want to see what I have to say. I was asked to talk a little bit about Lenore's professional career. As some of you know, Lenore graduated from George Washington Law School. I won't say what year, so as to not give away her age. As one of only a handful of women at the time. She did very well. She passed the bar on her first try. Despite this achievement, as told to me by my father, that period of her life was principally devoted to adjusting to her new role as fiancée and then as a newlywed. Marty told me that he was helping Lenore prepare for a constitutional law exam, and noticed that many of the pages seemed...
Professor is here.
Professor Barron's here, don't listen to this part. And noticed that many of the pages seemed completely untouched. And he said, what's going on here? You need to understand due process. And Lenore said, the most pressing process due is dinner. That's not going to happen if we have to wait for you to take a course on how to light a stove. Well, that story may not be exactly true or even remotely true, but it correctly reflects Marty's recollection of and Lenore's early and continuous commitment to devoting her life to those she loves. First to Marty, also known as Dad, Toots, and Tootsie to his grandchildren. After law school, Lenore accepted a position at the Federal Trade Commission, where she was protecting consumers from fraud. And our country, no doubt, would be free of consumer fraud if only she had stayed there. Unfortunately for consumers, but great for me and my sisters, she decided she wanted to be home with her infant children. My sisters, particularly Shelley and I, made sure that this decision would come with a cost. When we kids got a little bit older and were in school, Lenore was ready to go back to work, but it had to be part-time. In those days, those positions were rare, but Lenore was among the first employees to enter the federal government under a new law that permitted hiring half-time employees without taking a full slot. She was hired at the Justice Department in the antitrust section, directly involved in breaking up the Ma Bell monopoly. And for the younger kids here, that at the time, that was the phone company before everybody had a mobile device. Marty said she was the person most responsible for the demise of that monopoly. But as we all know, Marty is a bit of a bullshit. Having fixed the domestic market, Lenore signed on to international oversight of the nuclear industry with the International Atomic Energy Agency. She sometimes had meetings in Europe. And the good part is that she often brought a child with her. The bad part was that the other 2 children were left behind with Marty. And Dad is wonderful and smart, successful lawyer, but frankly, his homemaking skills are a bit deficient. For dinner, the only thing he could make was reservations. Many kids do not appreciate their mother's commitment, but those trips really highlighted to us how lucky we were. After a time, the travel and the work did not hold Lenore's interest. She realized that she wanted a job with more human contact. Everyone recognized that she had a special set of skills for resolving conflicts, so she decided on a significant change. She took a job with a divorce lawyer, learned the business, and then opened up her own practice. Bubby became a prominent and very well known in the divorce field, and even ended up running the Montgomery County Women's Bar. Eventually, when divorce became less appealing than Marty, Bubby retired to be with him full-time and family. Bubby is dedicated in all of her relationships as a friend, a wife, a mom, and a grandmom. And I've been extremely blessed to have Bubby as my mom for 54 wonderful years. All of them.
I got a suggestion. We take a few minute break, people get some coffee and a little bit of dessert. We still have some more speakers. So we want to take a 5-minute break from our business meeting and we'll get there. All right, business meeting continues. First of all, I want to be sure I extend special thanks to many people who have made this the success it is, I hope. Is first John Cater.
Yeah, John.
Rick and Robin Santos, who are going to serenade us with a happy birthday to them. Yvonne, who's Close. You're right.
How long have you known him?
Honey, where's Honey?
She left.
She left? Oh, okay, all right. And Lenore helped out a bit too, thank you. And the people who have traveled, I don't know if I mentioned them, Bruce from Boston, Bruce Rafey, how a cheer for that for coming. Oh yeah, well, a lot of people with desserts. I didn't taste them, I don't know if I should thank him yet. Susan Evans and others is what he said. I'm going to forget, so I'm sorry about it. From now on, the speakers, the next speaker is someone who has become, in short time, the president of the board here. So I want to suck up and get him time to speak. In a short time, he became president of the board, and he was here just a few years and made president, largely because of his beautiful wife, Luna. That's, I think, what did it. So come on up and a few words. Not one of the usual speeches. What I'm talking about.
There's a lot of lawyers here today. So thank you, Marty. This is a privilege for me to be here to speak. You know, I've only known Marty and Lenore for about 3 years, but your introductory remarks when you first walked into the door gave me pause to think about you and as what you were in the past. So here you talked about the story that you went to the library to find a woman, and I said to myself, you finally raised the bar to start looking for women who could read. And that was a great thing. At any rate, it's a real privilege, as I said, for me to be here tonight and today. And I want to read some things about our dear friend Lenore. I consider myself to be very lucky to be the president of the Promenade. Ronan and I moved here 3 years ago and are enamored with the wonderful friends we've made, particularly Marty and Lenore. We are thrilled to share this occasion, marking Lenore's becoming 80 years young. I personally call upon Lenore as a fellow member of the bar for her expert counsel and her very practical advice. It is such an inspiration to watch her apply her skills, knowledge, and talent for the common good of our community.
Who are you talking about?
And you. She does this by working hand in hand with our dear Mary Lee on the policy committee, along with Sue and Shannon, which is so very important to all of us here. And John at the Promenade. Lenore served as a member of the Promenade Board of Directors. She's a voice of wisdom who retains her sense of humor regardless of the gravity of the situations we face. Rona and I watch with warmth and enjoyment as Marty and Lenore interact while we are together. They reflect a strong, respectful, lasting, and ideal marriage. Although we have already experienced the wrath of Dan and Jacob on the pickleball court, we feel privileged to be among your family and other friends who no doubt share our love and respect for you. Lenore, we wish you good health and happiness on this occasion and look forward to our continuing wonderful friendship that we are so grateful to have. Thank you.
Well, there's a guest here who's known Lenore the longest. And I could say with assurance that's the case, because Minna Schwartz was born on the exact same day as Lenore, so it's her 80th birthday today.
Tomorrow.
Okay. So, Minna, come on up there. I know you want to say a few words to Lenore. Well, you look younger.
Oh, yeah. It's trying to get on my good side. I've known Lenore since we were 11 years old together, and we were in Great Neck, New York. And our lives have been entwined all of these years since. She is my best friend, my longest friend, and my dearest friend. Growing up, we lived about 2 blocks from each other, and we'd meet, and then we'd go home, and then we'd call each other on the phone to report what had happened in between. So we were very close. We even at one point shared a boyfriend. You remember that? David Clark. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something when you share that with your best friend. But it was serial, it wasn't at the same time. And when we were moving to Washington, which we were greatly looking forward to because we had been separated by great distance in between. We had lived in Wisconsin and Syracuse, New York. And where did we stay when we first came? At Lenore and Marty's house. Where else? And we had kids of similar age, so we would do not necessarily a weekly, but close to a weekly zoo visit. And it's been like that ever since. And I feel so grateful to have had this friendship throughout my life. It's been a great support to me and to my family. So thank you, Lenore. I love you so much.
I also wanted to pay special attention to Ariel Thal and her husband Paul Koppel, who came down here from Philadelphia for this trip. Ariel is a surgeon. We were very close friends. We are very close friends with her parents who are in California, and Northern California, thank God. And she went to GW medical school, and we were very good friends throughout that whole time period. Her husband played basketball with us, and it was great. And now she's a great head and neck surgeon. So I talked to her, I said, could you do something about these chins? She said, I'm a surgeon, not a magician. Carol, where's Carol?
She had to go pick up her grandson. She'll be back.
Okay, some other people indicated they wanted to speak. Is there? Come on up. The Baron, Professor Baron is here, who gave her, we won't say what grade.
Well, I'll tell a story about it.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Don't embarrass me, please.
No, this is.
No grades.
So, we've known through, I was going to say, but through Jane Lang, we've had the pleasure of knowing Marty and Lenore for many years. Anyway, at one point, by the way, I was very young when I taught Lenore, and which I was. So Lenore said to me one time, what grade did I get? Do you remember? I said, well, do you remember? She said, no. I said, well, I don't remember. I said, well, I'll look it up. So I went and asked the registrar of the school, and they found her grade in my course. So I said, Lenore, I have your grade. She said, what did I get? I said, A. She said, you bastard. That is a true story, and that's what we love about Lenore. Anyway, this is what we have to say. Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah. Dear Lenore, friends we became through Jane. Let us explain. For years more than 30, our friendship grew quite sturdy. Snowbirds in Florida we were, you and Marco were in Naples. But now it's all a blur. Back and forth we went to see each other, fun we had. Times were good and we were glad.
To bar and bat mitzvahs you did go, to towns you did not know. Hattiesburg, Naperville, parts unknown, even to a drone. Good friends you were and are. And then we took to cruising. Many places were up for choosing. We explored the Caribbean. Where we stopped is now in oblivion.
A port which memory refuses to discard is Havana, a port we held in high regard. A more recent voyage on the Canard from New York to the UK we sailed. It was quite okay, a voyage we all hailed. But it had no pickleball. For Marty, such a ship, no matter what the destination, is no vacation.
But through it all, Lenore remains warm, loving, and kind, a friend most hard to find. Lenore, we wish you a joyous 80. Our friendship is now quite weighty. All know your love for Marty is not severable, and Myra and Jerry wish you a birthday most memorable. Thank you so much.
What I wanted to do is give special recognition also to my cousins, Jill and Ari Bakken. Jill came from New York and Ari from Philadelphia. Their father, who passed away, was my first cousin, and he was a dynamo. He was a large, big man with a big voice, great sense of humor, and in fact, I think it was our first date. I took Lenore to a synagogue service, it was cheap. And Big Al was in the chorus, so that was my rationale to pick on that date. So that was our first date. And Big Al has been a big inspiration our whole life, so we miss him and glad you're here for this celebration. And they had known it, yeah, so we had food. Also, Bruce Rafey made this trip. You want to say something? Just a couple words, okay.
Nothing prepared, but I go back with Marty when he was talking about that first 6 weeks or months when he first met the young lady, and he was very, very much telling the whole story up there. And I was at their wedding, and we got lost in New York City together a few years ago, because Marty didn't want to leave the party. She and I, clock reunion, she and I did, and we got a little lost late at night in Manhattan.
Alert from NY Times.
And so I did want to say a few words, and I do have to catch a plane, but I wanted to at least get a word in.
Well,
And not prepared.
well, I have to say that, well, what happened is we were both fraternity buddies too. And they would have, well, I was the pledge master. And so I would like to go back to these reunions of the fraternity and hear what crazy things, dumbass things I used to do back in college, which I still don't believe I did, but they tell me I did. And Bruce, Lenore would come with these events and, you know, not real excited about my fraternity. Bruce's wife would not come. She's smart enough not to go. And Bruce would spend all the time with Lenore because he was sick and tired of hearing all the stories. So the big event was Lenore and Bruce having a good time at my fraternity party. So I'm glad you could come.
Lost in this walking.
All right, so we have Carol has had to go, and you say
I could beat something she wrote.
you're going to be Carol?
I'm gonna be Carol.
This is going to be something new. I'm going to introduce you as Carol. Wayne Pines as Carol Kleinman. This is his wife.
Carol just had to pick somebody up, and so she asked me if I could read this. I've known Marty and Lenore for 50 years, and we used to go out to eat every week, you know, like 35 times a year. We used to have dinner with them, and you know, we suffered through that, but it was okay. And just the predicate is Carol and Lenore went to law school together, and I played basketball with Marty for a very long time. This is from Carol. She wrote this, so when she says I, not me, it's Carol, okay? Lenore and I met in '66 at the age of 21 in law school, which of course was not much fun. I met Marty, that's Carol, as he courted Lenore. She thought he was special and honest to the core. They married, had children numbering 3, Danny, Shelley, Sharon, a perfect family. Lenore practiced family law. Marty joined S&J. Their lives are very busy, and they traveled along the way. Cruises, plays, dinner at Chad's. A better friendship could not be had. The years flew by, had good times for, and now she's 80, and we hope for many more. Happy birthday, Lenore, and more good times ahead. Who is keeping score? What more can be said? Love, Carol.
It's still on, and I should say that I met Wayne in the basketball courts, and we took a special affinity with each other, because I thought he was the only person slower than me with a shot not as good as mine, and he thought that I was the only person slower than him without a good shot, so we wanted each other to be on the court. And we didn't know each other's game for about 2 years. And we became very, very close friends, so thank you, Wayne, and thank you, Carol. I think we're at a point in time where we're going to have Lenore say a few words if she wants to, and then we're going to have a birthday song. We're going to light candles and sing happy birthday. But Lenore, you want to speak first? You want to wait for the...
I want to thank everyone.
You want to thank everyone? Oh my God, oh. Elijah, maybe we'll go, should we go now? You ready to roll?
Way to go, Morty.
This is, how can I forget, this was chairman of Steptoe and Johnson for quite a few years. And he made me one of the key positions at Steptoe. I had some elected positions, but the real important position was appointed, where I would run the suite at the Nationals Park and at the Capitol Center. So in the suite, and I was very popular at the firm. My jokes were very funny there. I thank Roger for that. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Marty. As Marty said, I showed up at Steptoe Johnson on a Cooper Boy in 1971. So that's a while ago. And within 2 months of arriving, we were invited somewhere to their house. And we were invited to their house dozens of times over the years. As a result of that long-time friendship, Marty, who's been so busy with this party, asked me to get a couple of gifts for Lenore. And he said, listen carefully, spare no expense. Well, okay, so I was trying to think, what kind of gifts? Well, if she's a queen, she's a scepter. And if she's a queen, she needs a crown. Here you go, here's the crown. And
do the honor.
perfect for the photos. But I knew that I could still spend a few more dollars at Marty's. And that extravagance could only be met by bringing in a singer for the party today. So I thought, well, who should we get? Frank Sinatra's dead. Beyonce and Taylor Swift are otherwise engaged. So I went to one of my favorite stores and got a singer who
That's so
She's really likes it.
it's better than Marty singing that song. Now, I'll somehow while the singer's still going. Because I'm not sure when the singer stops, but he will stop. But throughout history, there have been many wonderful women, many famous women. And I'm going to list some of them, but I need audience participation for this. So when I start to list the famous women, or successful women, or notorious women, you're going to say Anne Lenore Schneider. All right? So Cleopatra. Joan of Arc. Queen Victoria. Queen Elizabeth. Eleanor Roosevelt. Margaret Thatcher. Mother Teresa. Now, those are kind of political types and stuff like that, but there have been many famous, beautiful women that have been succeeding in sports or movies or whatever. So I'm going to run through some of them. Grace Kelly, and Elizabeth Taylor, and Lady Gaga, Katie Ledecky, Beyonce, Taylor Swift. But as everybody's recognized so far, Lenore is part of a duo. And so I've thought about some famous couples over the years, and I think you could see if Lenore and Marty fit in with any of them. So I'm going to list some of those famous couples, and so to speak, and Lenore and Marty. So here we go. Alice and Ralph Cramden. Trixie and Ed Norton. Gracie, Alan and George Burns. Edith and Archie Bunker. The wonderful Lucy and Desi. And Lenore Marty. Thank you.
I'm glad Roger couldn't think of some wife who killed her husband, so thank God for that. Okay, now I think we're ready for the birthday.
Yeah, you were saying something.
No, I'm sorry, we're forward now. Come on, Lenore. Hey, let's hear it.
Thank you all so much for being here. I can't believe this. Marty really pulled it off. At the expense of a lot of people, I think. But I'm just thrilled, I didn't even know I had so many friends. And I want a special shout out to my twin, Lenore Schwartz. We have celebrated every birthday together. So, happy birthday. My children, my grandchildren can't know how special they are to me and to Marty. They are my life. And I mean, oh, there's one. But thank you all for coming, giving up. I don't know if there's a game on today.
Tonight.
Tonight, oh, good. That's why the timing, okay, good. I don't know what to say, but wow, and thank you, and. Right, I agree. Right. Anyway, thank you all for coming. This was really special. I just love you all. Thank you.
Right for the birthday before that, Emma, you wanted to come say something? My granddaughter. And I want to thank my cousins, the Greens, originally from Albany.
Hi, sorry, better late than never on this one. So here's my little encomium. If you know what that means, you're a nerd. My grandmother is one of the most patient, she is the most patient woman I know. For 57 years of marriage to Toots wasn't obvious enough. Sorry, Toots, I know you've been scratching strays all night. It's just too easy. But she's not just patient with people, she's willing to understand them, to connect with people and make friendships. Even if it's with the kiosk salesman at the mall, like Buzz. He's just trying to sell you a bedazzled phone case. She's also a great listener. Most people would rather have all their organs systematically shut down one by one than listen to a teenage girl complain about whatever it is girls do. Cooking? I don't know. But my buddy, she'll listen to me rambling for hours. If you didn't know, my grandmother's love language is also quality time. Which is why she traps me on week-long cruise ships surrounded by a bunch of 80-year-olds. It is nice to have them pinch my cheeks and say, "Oh, your granddaughter's so beautiful." She's always willing to spend time with me, probably to get away from Toots. Sorry again. Too easy. Back in August, my grandparents took me and my cousins to the happiest place on earth, Orlando, Florida. I somehow ended up in the hospital, gallstones, which Bubby reminisced, "Oh, I had my gallbladder taken out a few years back." Nice to know I have the gallbladder of an 80-year-old lady. 18's the new 80, what can I say? My buddy sat with me in the hospital for hours, rode with me in the ambulance, and even helped them load me into the stretcher. Yes, they could not load me into the stretcher. Yeah. She held my hand while I bawled my eyes out, convinced I was about to die in Florida, my worst nightmare. She's always been there for me. She's one of my biggest supporters, and I know she's always in my corner. She's just there thick and thin through it all. Bubby, I love you so much. Happy birthday.
Mary Lee, did I forget anyone yet?
Let's see.
All right, while you're thinking it over.
I'll think about it.
All right, now we'll have, let's see, how should we do? We'll have the cake, well, the sign, and then the cake at the same time, or what do you think? We've got the expert in this thing.
Do we have a knife for do you want Lenore to cut the cake, or? What's in the heck of an
Well,
idea?
Oh, the song, okay,
We'll do the
let's
song first.
do the people sing what you
Yes, of course.
Not the, I'll record this, I want to hear you.
So this is my wife, Robin. But, so just like Mary Lee said, Marty, at the very last second, yesterday, said, "Oh, can you lead everybody in a happy birthday song?" So, and then he also told John, "We don't need a microphone." Now, what would we have done without a microphone today? So luckily, we knew better. So we'd like to sing
a happy birthday song, but before we do, I just want to say it's a privilege, it really is a privilege to be here for Lenore's 50th birthday party, and I think that, you know, like Alan and Rona, we've only been here 3 years. And Lenore and Marty just welcomed us with open arms, as many people have here. And I think you'll agree that Lenore is just a ray of sunshine. Don't you think? She's just unbelievable. She just is, everywhere she goes, she's there. So the thing about the happy birthday song is that every time you hear it, even when you guys came in, everybody's out of tune, everybody's singing a different key, everything. So what we're gonna do is something different. We're actually gonna get everybody sing together. And this is the note that you want. For guys, girls, right? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna all do it together because we're getting videoed, all right? Or recorded or something. So here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lenore. Happy birthday to you. You're on.
So can you do it again? Come blow out the candle.
Oh, quite ready. Can you do it again?
You want it again?
Well, no, let's
No.
get a picture. We'll bring the cake. We'll get a photo.
There you go.
All right, and then we'll free everybody. All right, one more time.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lenore. Happy birthday to
I've been instructed to make a closing remark. Okay.
You need to blow out your candles first.
Okay.
Make a big wish.
We don't want to set up a
10
false
more
alarm.
Everybody here coming to my 90th?
Yes.
And also, is this a cake made by Lorraine and Marcia?
Oh, my
I think I thanked already our great actors. How about them, huh?
And Paul, he mixed the ingredients.
All right, everyone, line up, get your breakfast, and get your cake, and have a wonderful time. If there are other speakers, by the way, let me know. We may have a few minutes near the end, but I think we've had a lot of speakers, right?
Tomorrow, what about tomorrow?
Tomorrow. All right. So then-
It's all right.
What, Shelley?
This has been wonderful, and we want to hear from everybody, but I think we all need to move around and so between my phone and Wayne has been recording, we want to hear from you. So if you have some words you want to give to Lenore, because Marty, he's gonna edit together, we're gonna have a whole video. So I invite you, find me, find Wayne, find another Schneider person, and let us record your remarks. If you left a tribute, we have that. If you want to say something else, let's do that. Tootsie, we want to hear from you, but I think we want to hear from Bubby for a minute and let her wrap it up. Okay, so.
I wrapped it up.
You wrapped it up. I was outside schmoozing with the cousins. All right, so.
It's a wrap. Sorry, Mikey.
Should we call our
No. Okay, so Tootsie, take it home.
All right, let's go. Coffee and cake. All right, come on, and mingle around. Say hello.